Welcome. Hello, 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 friends. We are live. This is Getting Sassy as Fuck with Hallie Avolio from Sassy Healthy Fit. And my special guest today is Ilyse Craft. Welcome, Ilyse. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Same here. Me too. Me too. And I love that you just say it like it is.
It just is, man. It just is. We were just talking about that. So I just want to give everyone the heads up. If you're watching this live, we would love to hear from you. So of course, drop your comments, say hello, all that good stuff. If you are watching this on the replay, hashtag replay, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. It's not like this is your first rodeo. So I want to tell you about Miss Ilyse Craft because she's awesome. We were just saying backstage, behind the scenes, that we feel like we've known each other, but we've actually never had like a real-time convo, just DMs. But here we are. So now we're basically best friends. So just so you know, Ilyse, you're stuck with me now. But I want to read your bio because it's so good. And it was like, as soon as I read it, I was fired up. And I know that this audience is going to be fired up by what you're talking about. So Ilyse Craft is a business coach who helps women become wealthy online. And that's all she does. That is super badass, by the way. That is all she does. I love that. We're going to come back to that. She helps her clients know how to do the most critical things to have a business that makes money, and offers white glove technical guru service support to her clients. Fabulous. She combines the principles of manifestation and entrepreneurship to teach women how to win big fast. There is nothing about that I don't love. Nothing. I love all of it. All of it. I love it. It's amazing.
Win big fast.
Win big fast. So how did you get here? I mean, you don't have to give me your whole life story, but how did you get here in this moment to, I help women win big fast? That's a bold statement, Ilyse.
Yep. Well, I think, like what we were talking about in what I like to call the green room.
Yes.
Like we're, movie stars. Why not? Is by like really cutting out a lot of like the busy work and like fancy, like whatever the hot thing is, like, I don't know, like Clubhouse is the hot thing. Let's do that. And TikTok is the hot thing. There's gonna be another thing. There's gonna be another thing. Just hold on to your hat because there's gonna be another thing. And you know what? That other thing could really be your thing. So check it out. Because being a student of the business, whatever business you're in, is really important. And knowing how to just be like, I got blinders on. What I do is I help women be wealthy online. So I'm not, I don't dance. I mean, I dance, but like
you dance. We can have a dance party right now, and I know you'd bust a move with me.
Yes, I could totally get down, but I don't spend my time like, doing the thing where you like hit things away and like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, on occasion I'll watch them and I just think like, does that work? Like if it does, awesome, do it. And if it makes you happy doing it and you're making money, because if that's your goal, make money. When I think of making money, I think if I'm making money, it means that I'm helping someone do something that's important to them. That's a win, right? That's a win.
Absolutely.
But when you're doing all these things and then you're like, what the hell am I even doing these things for? I'm doing this, I'm doing TikTok, I'm doing that, I'm jumping in Clubhouse, I'm scrolling, I'm posting, I'm writing, I'm taking a picture, I'm da-da-da-da-da-da, and I'm not making any money. I have no clients. Why am I doing all these things? So I do so much less stuff and I'm killing it.
I love it. I just want to say hello to Lori. Hi, Lori. Lori, by the way, Ilyse is one of my dearest friends. Her birthday was Monday. And she is somebody that we have this thing. You'll like this. We do a gratitude practice every morning. So we leave each other a voicemail, just a 1 minute to say what we're grateful for in that moment for the day. And that's it. And it's awesome. But Lori also, it's very cool. It's a great way to start the day. Talk about, being in alignment and being centered, focused on what is of value and important, right? That's how you stay your focus. You practice gratitude. You have people, like Lori in my life who helps me stay on track, which is awesome.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. So how did you get to this place of like, I'm clearing out the nonsense that's not working for me? Because I think, with my clients that I work with, and we're mostly talking, I'm not really working in the business space. So my clients, we're talking about self-love, we're talking about empowerment, we're talking about spiritual practices, which obviously all come together into entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the biggest thing is the blocks of worthiness and this kind of idea of I have to stay busy, because if I stop being busy all the time, I have to really look myself in the eye and ask myself, who am I? And that's really scary.
Yeah.
So tell me how you've gotten to this place and how you work through that with your clients, especially with business.
Yeah. So, well, my practice it's always been life and business coaching, because you can't take your life out of your business. You can't take your business out of your life. We're one human feeling being.
Right.
So I've always had a life and business coaching business, and I have been a master manifester I can really remember probably my first memory of ever really feeling like, I didn't know the word intuitive, but I was around 6 or 7 years old when I really had a sense of something, of a knowing. So it goes way, way, way back. And one of the principles in the of manifesting that I teach is minding your mind, of really having agency and knowing your mind, and really, really listening, knowing your mind, and future tracking. Because I see it, I love music, I sing a lot, and I think of it like a record. And we're always playing a record from the past, like a record, like a song.
Right.
The groove of the record is so deeply ingrained that we can go back to an old song and like sing the lyrics in like a nanosecond.
Right.
Like, how do I know all those lyrics? I haven't heard that song in forever. So we can easily get stuck in back like a broken record, really easily. But to future track, to go into the future of what we deeply desire for our life, for our business, for the vision that we have, is really hard, because we can't even take ourselves there. It feels like, if I would say, God, I want a multi-million-dollar business and it's going to look and feel like, that's like, what? Like, how the hell is any of that going to happen as I'm sitting in my corporate job 3 hours on the freeway and sitting from meeting to meeting and all these obligations? I don't even have the headspace for it. I had to future track. I had to dream about it. I had to brain train myself for something that didn't even exist. Because the broken record would say, it ain't going to happen.
Right.
Ain't going to happen. So I had to train myself like athletes do, like thought leaders do, like billionaires do, like people do this. This is a practice. I had to practice my brain. I had to train my brain for where I wanted to go. Because left to my own devices, I would play a broken record.
Sure.
And it's one of the principles of manifesting, is to mind your mind and get really clear about what it is that you want. So I have practices that I do in my life. I have brain training practices, I have spiritual practices, I have practices, just how I show up for myself, how I ask for help, how I communicate, leadership practices, self-leadership, and then being willing to take direction from somebody ahead of me, all of these things to get myself to where it is that I want to go, and just really staying in my lane, and not, I don't need a committee of people to get an okay from. Like, what do you think? What do you think? No, I know what I want.
Right. Well, that clarity is so huge, right? And I was telling you in the green room, I was telling you that I just did a video that will be out on my YouTube shortly on manifesting. And the number one thing that I talk about is getting clear, right? If you don't have clarity of vision, you don't have clarity of how you want to feel, you don't have clarity of what your purpose is, there's no way you're going to achieve whatever it is that you want, whatever money you want, whatever business you want, whatever love you want, right? You're never going to get there if you don't have the clear vision.
Yeah.
That has to be number one. But like you said, when we get stuck in this old story, right? Sometimes we don't know what that vision is because we only know what was behind us.
Exactly.
So how do you teach people to get to this future tracking where they can, I'm picturing, sitting in traffic, going to that corporate job, you're stuck in the office, you've got spreadsheets and people throwing things at you, telling you to be at meetings, and yet you're thinking, this isn't in alignment. I want to get to this place where I'm working in a space of freedom and I get to call the shots and I get to bring in all the money that I desire, but I can't even see that yet because I'm so here in this mess. So how do you help people get the clarity to move from that space to looking to the future to what they truly desire?
So that's such a great question, because it is, we get into this, like, we're on the hamster wheel. So it's
right.
Like, oh God, how do I stop the madness? Right. And it's, so it's another principle of manifestation, and it's being truthful and being decisive. So that's another principle. And the being truthful, which a lot of people talk about in being in alignment, I just call it just being truthful. So I'm going to give you an example, and I talk about this in my class. It's one that people, I think, can really, really relate to, and a lot of women, even men. It doesn't really even matter. So have you ever been on a diet? Let me just ask you that. Have you ever?
I've been on every diet. Yes.
Okay. So then you'll appreciate this example. So say you're on a diet, like I've been on every diet also, and you're out to eat and the waiter comes over. Like, this is my typical example. Like, what would you like? Well, I'll have the salmon and I'll have nothing on it, just like steam it. And I'll have broccoli, nothing on that either. And I'll have the salad, nothing dressing on the side, and, no bread for me. You know what? I'll just have nothing with nothing on it, just nice and nothing, just I'm good. And then the person I'm eating with, they'll have the lasagna, and I'm like,
right. I want that. For me, it's a burger and fries, and it's my husband. And I'm like, I'm going to have that.
Yeah. And so the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like having a lovely conversation, laughing, carrying on. And in my mind, I'm like, I want that motherfucking lasagna, for the love of God. And they're like, you want to bite? I'm like, no, really, I'm great. I just, and so then, they're like, how do you do it? You're just amazing. And I'm like, it's really nothing. I'm just on this diet. It's just great. And, and I was just like white knuckling the whole meal, and I want to kill myself while they're eating the lasagna. And I'm like,
drooling over.
Yeah. So half my brain is having a lovely dinner, and the other half of my brain is going, I want that fucking lasagna, and I hate this life and what this diet, and I'm never going to lose the weight, which is true. I'll lose 3 pounds and gain 5 and lose 2 and gain 5 and lose 2, because I'm not in the truth of my life. I'm fighting it. So I leave the dinner and I go to Burger King or McDonald's or In-N-Out or whatever the hell is open, because I'm in this tension of, and maybe I don't, or maybe I go home and maybe I just start to eat whatever's in the refrigerator that I don't even want, but I can't take it anymore. And this is the life of a lot of people, because they're in that job and they're doing the job, and they might be even doing a good job, but they're not in their truth. Their truth is something else. So the sooner that you get into your truth, that's manifesting. This is my truth.
So with you.
It's the same thing with when you offer. It's like, I don't know, I'm going to offer this thing, but I don't know. You think maybe $55, like $55 freaking dollars. You out of your mind? I don't know. I was thinking, I don't know. It's like, you're so much more than that. You're everything. Your word is sacred. Your life is sacred. You're bringing everything that you ever did. Everything brought you to this moment. You're a multi-million-dollar, oh my God, everything that you did in your life. I sit across from women and they tell me everything that they've done in their life, and they blow me away. I'm like, you did what? They've built cities and towns, and they've saved people and all these things. And they're like, yeah, I was thinking $25. I'm like, what? They're out of alignment. They're out of their truth. You get in your truth, everything changes. Mm-hmm. Everything changes. So how did I get here? I got in my truth. And I've had major coaches. Don't talk so much about your past. I don't know if manifesting is really for you. Sorry, what? I'm, I'm so,
Look, you're all choked up about it.
I'm sorry. What? I don't need a committee.
Well, that's why you do your thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I love that.
so this idea that being truthful with yourself, what is it that you want? This is your life. In this consciousness and this body and this awareness, this is your life. What do you want? And make a decision about it. And sometimes it requires having some conversations with people. I don't want to go live, my grandmother might see, or my pastor, or I don't know, my boyfriend from, 1975. It's like, you know what? He's fucking living his life. Don't worry so much about your boyfriend from 1975,
Right.
So it's being decisive and truthful. And so these principles I teach in a 5-day free course, and it's so electrifying and it's so dynamic, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So I don't do a lot of busy work. I do the things that matter.
I love that. So I just put up the link to your 5-day free course because I know it's coming up at the end of April.
Yeah.
So if anyone is interested, I'll drop it in the comments as well. But if anyone is interested, definitely take Ilyse up on this because it will be a phenomenal experience. This idea of truth, alignment, worthiness. It's so important that we start changing this story and start changing this narrative, because for too long, we have been told that we have to do for other, for my parents, for my teachers, for my brother, my sister, my friends. I have to act in accordance with their expectations. I have to follow the rules that somebody else set the stage for. And I call bullshit on that. And even if you are not an entrepreneur and you have no desire to be, which is totally fine, because there are lots of entrepreneurs and there are lots of non-entrepreneurs, and everybody is perfect as they are, right? It's all good. But even if you are, happily working for somebody, enjoying that work, you still get to make the decisions of how you act in the duties that you are assigned to do. You don't have to always, do everything everybody else says because they expect you to do things a certain way. You have to show up in your truth. And if somebody expects you to do something that is not in your truth, that's when you have to question it and say, maybe it's time that I consider something else, because I can't live my life out of my truth or out of my alignment. And that for me has been my biggest awakening moment is, when I was in corporate, it was not quite the right fit. When I was being a stay-at-home mom, not quite the right fit. When I was helping my husband in his business, not quite the right fit. It was like all these things, not quite the right fit, because I never asked myself, what do I want? It was always, what do they want? And how do I show up for them?
Yeah.
So now I'm ready to say, I'm showing up for me. And when I show up for me, then guess what? All of a sudden, boom, I'm able to show up so much better for everyone else. And that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And, I've talked to a lot of people, they're not happy in their job. They're not really sure. It's like, you know what? You don't actually have a ball and chain on your foot that I've seen actually that keeps you at that job. If you hate your job, if you really, really hate your job, you almost have, I think, a moral obligation to leave that job, right? Leave the job. If you hate that job, you hate your boss, you hate your company, leave. You let the company hire somebody that actually wants to be there. Leave the job. Get another job. Work someplace where you're going to actually, they can bring somebody in that might actually like that job. I don't think part of a company's responsibility is to provide, joyfulness and exuberance and, yes, respect and, and treat people with, all the things that people should be treated 100%. And no abuse and all the obvious things, but like that you're fulfilled and filled with passion, and like you walk in the front door and you're just lit up. That's on you. That's actually on the person. So if you don't feel that certain sort of way, go get another job. Just go get another job. So, there are people that stay in unhappy jobs And then they're angry at the employer that they're in an unhappy job. And it's like, there's something called radical responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be responsible for the life experience that you actually want, and seek, like, okay, well, what's my role here? And even with other people, I remember when I really started to look at, like, where did I misstep? Where did I misspeak? Where did I miscommunicate? Where did I misunderstand? Where do I have discomfort? Where do I have dis-ease?
Mm-hmm.
On me, and there are times where it's like, wow, I didn't even know that you felt that way. I didn't even know that you were feeling that kind of way. I didn't know, like, I didn't even really want that from you. I didn't even expect that from you. I didn't even know that you felt that way. So many times we have conversations in our head with other people that they don't even know about.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Right?
So many times. Or we assume that someone is thinking a certain thing or saying a certain thing. You have no idea if you don't actually have a conversation with them.
Totally.
You have no idea.
Right.
No idea.
Right. So a typical conversation with a client will be, because I've had these myself, I know them intimately. Well, if I say this to him, then he's going to think this. So then if I say this, he'll say that. So then I'll say this, and then he'll say, so you know what? It's probably better I don't say anything. It's like,
what?
Did any of this actually happen? No, I think it's probably better I don't say anything. Okay. Where does all this leave you? I'll just be I'll just, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. It'll be okay. It's like, nothing will change like that.
Of course. But that's the safety, right? That's the thing. Like everything that you're talking about, Ilyse, right? Worthiness, your word is sacred, being in your truth, leaving your job that makes you feel like shit, ordering the salmon dry, the broccoli dry that makes you want to gag and throw up because you really want the lasagna. Like, yes, you can live that life. You can also roll over and die, or you can get a pair and show up in your life, take the risk, speak your truth, and say, I'm here to have the fucking lasagna and make a shit ton of money. Thank you very much. That's all.
And you know what? Here's the thing, because I'll have people message me and they're like, "Oh my God, you have so much coverage, you have so much confidence." You know what? I'm scared. There's
Sure.
so I did a course March 15th, and I was in the desert with my parents, which a total manifestation. I manifested this gorgeous luxury villa in Palm Desert, in La Quinta. It's like the Beverly Hills of Palm Springs.
I love it. I love it. I love the desert.
And my parents' friends, they have this gorgeous place, and they have a ranch in Colorado, and they gifted it to us. And I was like, I had just got done saying, like, it would be so amazing if somebody gave us a place, like a beautiful place to stay. And my stepdad, he's like, you're not going to believe this. So I was like, I love those words, because it usually ends with,
right.
Well, and he's like, our friends, they offered their place, and it's magnet. You're not going to believe it. It's like a hotel. You're going to die. I'm like, okay. And I had just got done saying that, how amazing that would be, because I'm a digital nomad. And it's a great lifestyle, and it's also a very expensive one if you want to do it nice. Look, you could do shared rooms, sure. And I don't do that. Like, I don't do that. So it could be a very expensive lifestyle. And so it was so awesome to have this experience with my parents. My mom's 83 years old. And like, to have this happen, to have this incredible launch. And it also happened with my parents there, right? So like, doing the courses, like, my stepdad walks outside and he starts talking to me while I'm on a live stream, so it's like, just a minute,
I'll be right with you.
right. And then there was like a windstorm and like it blew everything over, and which was fine. Like people, but I had like, 40 something, 50 something people on a live stream. So I had to like stop the live stream, go inside, set everything back up. Like things were not perfect at all. And so like, yes, my heartbeat was racing and, like it was nerve wracking and stuff. And so I grew myself. I'm constantly growing myself. I'm 58 years old. Like I'm constantly growing myself and knowing myself more and more and appreciating myself for the willingness, what I'm willing to do, whatever it takes to have the most extraordinary life. And I just, I cry sometimes. Like I'm so proud of myself. Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you. And I'll tell you that from the very first time I heard you speak, which was on a Facebook Live in a Facebook group, and you are you're very compelling because you are very you. And every time that I've either heard you speak in this sort of a forum or when we've exchanged messages, you have a huge heart. And the fact that you are bringing in the sort of money that you desire and are calling in, you are teaching people how to do the same, to live their best life financially so that they have that freedom, right? Yeah. And they can do these things. It's extraordinary because you are sacred and because you honor yourself. And that comes across very apparently. And I'm sure everyone else here feels your heart space, Ilyse. Your heart is like wide open, which is fucking beautiful. So I feel it, and I just want to hold space for you that you are doing it. And it's not about perfection. Who cares if the wind blows shit or somebody talks to you? I think we get caught up in worrying about these things. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, it actually makes it better because people can, you know what? Look, it's not perfect and the wind will blow things over and you'll get interrupted and my dog will do something ridiculous. Oops, and I pop off the screen, right? And and none of it matters. And you know what? And you get emotional and you get choked up. And you know what? I meet so many incredible women to win so much, so deeply. And it really does. I know that it takes a lot of courage to bet on yourself when you've let yourself down, when you've and they haven't worked, and you start to lose faith. And so
maybe Ilyse will come back. Hopefully we didn't lose her for good, but if we did, if she doesn't come back in, thank you for being here. She is a gem and you should definitely connect with her. See, this is me just rolling with it. But I want to show you Ilyse's 5-day challenge coming up at the end of April. So if any of this resonates with you, if you want to get in touch with her, join her 5-day challenge. I want to tell you what it's officially called so I don't mess it up. It is called the free 5-day acceleration manifestation method from April 26th to 30th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I believe it's on Facebook, although I'm not totally sure about that. And she is on Facebook. She is on LinkedIn, Ilyse Craft, Ilyse Craft, Craft. Make sure you follow her. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing the love, manifesting everything you desire. Just to give you a few shout outs about what I am up to, please make sure that you are following me on YouTube for all of my Sassy AF Academy trainings that are coming out weekly. If you are a woman and you'd like to be part of the Sassy Woman Sisterhood on Facebook, it's facebook.com/groups/my-sassy-life. And just send me a DM and let's connect because I'm here to cheer you on and help you create a life you fucking love and you fucking own. Live, love, and be sassy. Thanks for being here. Have an awesome afternoon. I'll see you soon. Bye.